Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to our first meeting, Standard Specifications and Details Committee meeting for January. We'll go ahead and start today. We have a few new members of the committee. So what I'd like to do is to go through, we don't often do a lot of introductions and whatnot, but what I'd like to do today is, especially for the new members, to get to know everyone on the committee and those attending the meeting, I'd like to have everyone just do a brief introduction. We'll start with the members that are here at the site today, and then we'll go down in order. I'll just call your name based on the order shown on the meeting, the Zoom meeting here. And if you could turn your camera on for at least that moment when you're speaking, so that everyone can get to see who you are, put a name with the face. And we'll go through and just do some introductions, including our new members as we have them. So I'll go ahead and start. My name is Ryan Nichols. I'm with the City of Mesa. I've been on this committee for about 5 years, I think, somewhere in that range. And I'm the chair of the committee for this year. And we'll go ahead and go over here. And Craig.
Thank you, Ryan. Craig, with the City of Buckeye. I am one of the project engineers of the city. I've been with MAG since, I think I figured it one time in 2008. So welcome.
Thank you. Jeff?
I'm Jeff Hearn. I'm with Salt River Materials Group. I'm an advisory member representing the Arizona Rock Products Association. I don't know how long I've been on the committee. I think it's a decade at least. It's 10 years or more. I'm also one of the people who help run the MAG working group for asphalt, aggregates, and concrete.
I'm Brian Gallimore. I'm an advisory member for the AGC, and this will be my 23rd year on the committee.
Thank you, Brian. David, go ahead.
David Fritz. I'm with Maricopa County Department of Transportation. I'm a new member taking over for Carl Rockwell.
Thank you. And Marty, go ahead.
I am Marty Robbins. I'm also with Maricopa County Department of Transportation. I have taken over Carl's role at DOT in standards and review supplement.
Thank you. So David is our official member, and Marty will be attending, from what I understand, on a pretty regular basis as a participant. So we'll go to the online group here now, and we'll start with Jim.
Hi, Jim Badowich, City of Avondale. I've been on the MAG committee a long time too. I asked Gordon once and he says, well, that was before they started even keeping track. So I'm also a chair of the working group, the water and sewer working group. So looking forward to another year.
Thank you, Jim. Angeline?
Angeline Morales with the town of Gilbert. I am a new member. I have fulfilled AJ's position. He's gone on to new, better things. So I am the new member and fulfilling AJ's position. I've been with the town for 4 years, and I've been in a few of the committee meetings, but I'm the official member now. So
thank you, Angeline, and welcome.
Yep, thank you.
Let's see, Christina.
Hi, I'm Christine Barnes, Azuka, the Arizona chapter of the National Utility Contractors Association. Newer to the committee. Just been sitting in on the last few months of this and filling in for Arvid Biedmark today.
Thank you, Christine. Okay, let's see here. Christina Hanush.
Hi, it's just Christina from SRP. I've been part of this committee for a while.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Dan.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Dan Nissen with City of Peoria. I've been on the committee, I know at least 5 years, maybe longer. So Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, Gene.
Oh, thank you. I'm the new guy out. Basically, I'm City of Glendale representative, CIP project manager, been with the city for about 17 years. So started sand and gravel, crushing and screening back in 99 and ended up at the city about 5 years later and have been there ever since.
Great, thank you and welcome. You're not the only new one, as you can tell.
Well, thank you.
Okay,
Thanks for having me.
let's see, we are down to, let's see, Greg.
Greg Orberg, Southwest Asphalt. Been on the committee for quite a while here too. One of the ARPA representatives.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Okay, Joe.
Thanks, Ryan. Hi, I'm Joe Malone with Hayden. I'm one of the members assigned from the AGC here with Brian. So happy to be back. Looking to get down there in person next meeting. Finally back in person. Seems like the last couple ones were, but I'll be in person next time. So I promise.
Sounds good. And everyone's always welcome in person. It's nice to see a little bit of a group down here. Okay, let's see. Next in line, let's go with Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Petrich. I'm a civil engineer through the city of Phoenix.
Great, thank you, Kelly. And Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul Nebeker. I'm an independent member. I deal with quite a few general contractors and pipeline contractors. I've been attending the committee since '98. I believe I've been a member for about 25 years.
I think you're our unofficial historian, right?
I believe I am.
Thank you. All right. Let's see, Ravi.
Hi, my name is Ravi Sharma, and I'm from City of Surprise. I'm filling in for David Mobley. He's out today, and I'm from engineering department. I'm a plan reviewer and a civil engineer.
Great, thank you, and welcome today.
Thank you.
Roy.
Hello, this is Roy Harrington. I represent the city of Scottsdale. Been on the committee here several years. I'm a principal civil engineer here at the city of Scottsdale and work in our capital project management group, and want to wish everybody a happy new year.
Great, thank you. Tom.
Hello, I'm Thomas Duff. I'm with the city of El Mirage, engineering inspector, and this is my second year. So looking forward to this one and more after.
Great, thank you. Do you go by Thomas or Tom?
Tom, Tommy, Thomas, it's all good.
All of the above. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Warren.
Warren, you're muted.
All right, let's try that again. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Warren White. I'm the City of Chandler rep. I've been on the committee probably 12 plus years. Served as the vice chair a number of years back. And yeah, happy New Year, everyone. And looking forward to another year.
Great, thank you. And I'm not sure if we missed anyone online, and I didn't intentionally do this, but we definitely saved the best for last if Gordon wants to do his introduction for anyone that hasn't met him.
Hi, I'm Gordon Tyus, and I staff the MEG committee, deal with the specs and details documents, and also do a lot of other graphics and things like that for MEG. I've been helping to manage this committee, I think, since 2007, maybe. Yeah, yes, it's been a while. So yeah, if you need any assistance or anything from MEG, I'm the point of contact for this group.
And really, the group doesn't run without Gordon. We always appreciate everything he does. It's quite possible that I may have missed someone that is online. If there is, you can let us know now. Okay, I think we got everyone. Very good. So that's our agenda item number one, the call to order and the introductions. We'll go to item number 2 on the agenda, which is the call to the audience. This is an opportunity that is provided to members of the public to provide input through written comment to the Standard Specifications and Details Committee on items that are not on the agenda that are within the jurisdiction of MAG, or on items on the agenda for discussion but not for action. Members of the public are asked to submit written comments related to this meeting through the MAG website and indicate for which meeting the comment is intended. Comments may be sent at any time leading up to the meeting, but must be received at least 1 hour prior to the posted start time for the meeting. Comments received prior to the deadline will be read aloud during the meeting. Comments may also be provided in person. Comments must not exceed 3 minutes in length. A total of 15 minutes will be provided for the call to the audience agenda item unless the chair of the Standard Specifications and Details Committee requests an exception to this limit. Please note that comments received for agenda items posted for action will be read at the time the item is heard. To attend the meeting by technological means, members of the public may access the link to watch a video stream on the MAG website by clicking on the "This meeting is available to watch online" link provided at the website shown, azmag.gov /event/36012. Gordon, did we have any comments for this meeting?
No comments were submitted early.
Okay. And there were no visitors online that we're aware of? And Marty, did you have any comments that you wanted to talk about today?
No, I do not have any comments.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 3, approval of the September 7th, 2022 meeting minutes. I know it's been a while, so if you haven't had a chance to review those yet, we'll just take a few seconds and Gordon can scroll through these and hopefully you've had a chance to review them already. But when we're done scrolling through these, I'll entertain a motion on the minutes. Okay, is there anyone that has any comments on the, or questions or comments on the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Brian, I'll motion for approval.
Okay, we've got a motion. Is there a second? Thank you, David. And we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Yeah.
Okay, for the September 7th meeting minutes, Avondale,
Aye.
Buckeye,
Buckeyes, yes.
Chandler,
Yes.
El Mirage,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Glendale,
Yes.
Goodyear. Goodyear's not present. Maricopa County,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Peoria,
Yes.
Phoenix,
Yes.
Scottsdale,
Yes.
Surprise,
Yes.
Tempe. Not present. Youngtown. Also not present. That's 12 yeses, 0 nos. 3 not present.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 4, solicitation for a new vice chair. As we heard earlier, Carl Rockwell is not on the committee anymore. He was our former vice chair. So at this time, we're looking to solicit for a new vice chair. I'll let Gordon talk a little bit through that. I know that the committee generally tries to split out the chair and vice chair kind of east and west valley or central in a different alternating years. Gordon, do you want to talk about that just for a minute?
Sure. As Ryan mentioned, Carl is no longer with the county, and so he's no longer vice chair, and needing someone to step in. Since Ryan is in the East Valley, Mesa, we're looking for someone either in the West Valley or central, like Maricopa County or Phoenix, or someone to kind of create a geographic balance in our committees. And so as they alternate between chair, the whole valley is well represented. So if you have been on the committee and you're interested in helping support the committee and fill in as vice chair for Ryan if he's unable to attend this year, with the idea that you're planning to stick around and move into the chair position the following year, I'd really love to. I'd appreciate possible volunteers. And of course, if we don't get any volunteers, I might come recruiting. And if you have been a chair in the past, that doesn't preclude you from also taking a second tour of duty if you feel so inclined. So anyway, thank you for the consideration, and feel free to contact me if you're interested. Or you can also contact Brian if you just kind of want to feel it out, or if you have any ideas on someone who you think might be good in that position. Feel free to let us know.
Yeah, and I'll add to that I know I had some concerns about the amount of workload I have with my job and not having sufficient time to fulfill the position. But Gordon does an incredible job of making it simple for us. And it's really not been an excessive burden to take on. And so it's been a great opportunity that I've appreciated. And I would encourage anyone who would consider filling in that role to, if you have questions or concerns, you're welcome to call me and talk to me about it, or Gordon, as you mentioned. And then I'll just go a step further and say, if you don't want to do it, you better let us know, because I'm going to start soliciting nominations from the committee on who they want to fill in, and then we'll just go ahead and take that person. So if you're unwilling or unable, then you should let us know.
One thing I forgot to mention is that according to the MAG's rules or bylaws, whatever, only agency members can be a chair or vice chair. So all of the advisory members are off the hook.
Okay, thank you. So again, email or call Gordon and let him know, or myself. And we'll move on to item number 5 on the agenda. This is a carryover case from last year that we had quite a bit of discussion on this. Case 22-15. Add new subsection 718.4 solar reflective coatings. Add reference to this in section 334. And this case is sponsored by Kelly. Kelly, do you have any discussion or updates or any additional information or that you want to go over today on this case?
No, I do not.
Okay. Are there any questions from the committee that have come up since our last meeting in September? Any questions, any information that you would like maybe to be presented on this case, or questions about it that we can provide for Kelly to prepare for our next meeting? Any questions or comments or any additional items on this case?
Hi, this is Warren. I did have one question, Kelly. I think there was a news article a few months back with our last large rain. I don't know if that we call it a large rain event, but I did see some news about some delamination occurring maybe in some Phoenix neighborhoods. Do you have any update on that, or was it an installation issue or something else?
No, I can contact Ryan Stevens is in charge of that program. So I can definitely get with him and see and update the committee on what his results were on that investigation.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Warren, for asking that question. So I think my guess is that there's probably a lot of the committee members that are interested in what had occurred, especially as we're looking at this case this year. Certainly, Kelly, I understand that you need to go back and talk with Ryan. I definitely think there'll be some interest in understanding if there's been any thought on changes to the specification, or if it was as mentioned, an installation issue or a timing issue or something else that maybe resulted in that can or should be addressed in a proposed specification. So any efforts you can make to go back and review that with Ryan, and then maybe that's something we can discuss in our next meeting, would be appreciated. If there's nothing else on this case for today, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, case 23-01, miscellaneous corrections. And so far for this year, there are 2 proposed miscellaneous corrections. The first is in section 401.5 of the specifications, where there's a reference to Arizona Highway Department. That is proposed to be changed to Arizona Department of Transportation to be consistent with their current name. Is there any questions or concerns or discussion on this miscellaneous correction item?
This was one that was brought up by a colleague of mine here at MAG who noticed that we were still using the outdated name for ADOT.
Okay, so if hearing no concerns on this one, I'm going to propose that we continue forward with that as one of our miscellaneous correction items. And then the second miscellaneous correction item is item B here, specification section 102.10. This is one that I had joked about in a previous year, and I thought maybe it's time we make an update here. You know what? So I did do some research on it, and yes, actually, you still can do a telegram. So for a minute, I hesitated, thinking maybe we just leave it in, because you can do a telegram. And in my research, it was noted that telegrams are a really good way to break contracts because the time and date is recorded. And I thought, well, that maybe there's a good justifiable reason to leave it in there. I think there's only one company that does it. And as far as I'm aware, the city of Mesa's never received bid cancellation through telegram. I'm speculating here, but I'm don't think other municipalities have either. So I thought maybe we could just strike that portion and leave it as being notified in writing before the time specified. So that's proposed miscellaneous correction.
Yeah, right. Because if you don't, somebody's going to use the app Telegram and say, well, I did it.
There you go. That's a good point.
Ryan, do we know if the state statute has any language that we would contradict if we take this out?
I do not know. And are you referring to Title 34 or something different?
Yes. I was going to check with our procurement group to see if there's any such language that we need to worry about.
I have not checked Title 34. I have read through Title 34 in its entirety, and I don't remember anything along those lines. But that's not to say that I would have missed it because I wasn't specifically looking for it at the time.
Isn't a telegram considered writing anyway?
I would assume yes. And I kind of felt like it was maybe redundant that we're just that we're not changing what's required specifically. I suppose if someone still did that, it would be in writing and would still meet the specifications. So we're not necessarily eliminating that option. We just don't specifically call it out as an option.
Quick search of it doesn't show any reference to Telegram in Title 34.
I'll have to check, Ryan, but on my ADOT spec committee, they didn't deal with the Telegram, but they were dealing with, does electronic, does that count as in writing, right? In today's age, with everything with DocuSign and everything, it's like, because they had some documents that they said it had to be in writing and they changed it. And I'll get that language to see if there's something we want to do along the same lines as ADOT did.
Yeah, and certainly we could be open to other modifications to modernize the specification. And if we propose to do that moving forward, that might move from a miscellaneous correction to an actual case. At this point, are we okay with leaving this small deletion as a miscellaneous correction? Is there any concern with that?
I agree with your proposed change.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there any other proposed miscellaneous corrections that people would like to present today? Okay, if not, again, throughout the year, we'll continue to add to this case as items may arise. And we'll keep this case open as we move forward. Shouldn't be a lot of discussion, but at any time, of course, if there is a comment or question on one of these at each meeting, we will have an opportunity to provide those questions and comments. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 7, potential new cases for 2023. I am not aware of any cases that were presented prior to the meeting, but this is an opportunity now to request a new case for 2023. Is there anyone that would like to propose one?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
The Rock Products Association is going to propose a new case with an addition to section 725.2 on cementitious materials. We currently have a Portland Pozzolan cement listed there on ASTM C595. One of the things that if you've been aware of what's happening across the country, much of the cement industry is moving to a 1L or a Portland limestone cement type of product. Obviously, the thought process there is for climate initiatives and to produce less impactful cementitious materials on greenhouse gas emissions. So recently in the last year, we proposed adding the 1L or the Portland limestone cement to the ADOT specifications, and it has been added to ADOT. So we're going to propose doing the same thing in adding those materials into MAG specification. It also meets ASTM C595, which we already have in the spec. It's just a different class of materials within that specification. What I'd like to propose is to make a presentation, provide a presentation to the committee at the February 1st meeting. Basically, what is it? How does it work? How is it different? Is it different? Those kinds of things. A nuts and bolts kind of presentation to the committee, if that would be available to do prior to actually submitting the case. The case will be very simple language, but it will be, I think it'd be very advantageous for members of the committee.
Yeah, I definitely would support the presentation because I already started thinking of questions to ask you, which I'll hold off on until we have that presentation. So we can go ahead, Gordon, and add that to our agenda for February. That would be appreciated.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, are there other potential new cases that are being worked on that we would like to discuss at this time? I know those working groups have a bunch of them. Maybe you need a month to refresh your memories though.
It might also help to recall them when they're giving their reports on their working groups.
Yeah, and so that's a good point, Gordon. So we can go through our next agenda item, which is the working group reports. And as you go through anything on those, if there are proposed future cases, you're welcome to talk about them at this time also as you go through the working group reports, assuming we remember what happened in our last working group meetings. So we'll go in order here as shown, starting with the water sewer working group.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we haven't met since September. We had a couple cases we're looking at, potential cases. One is to bring a new water service, the PEX. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that. And it's used extensively on the private side, downstream of the water meter. So there's some potential and already some states and other agencies using it for water services in the right of way. So we've had a couple presentations from that. So we're looking to finish that up and probably bring that as a case this year. The other one, again, I'm trying to go from memory here. The other one, one new case we want to consider maybe is with the problems with all the supply issues with ductile iron and PVC. We've actually are maybe looking into adding another water item into or water material item. It's called PVCO or zero PVCO C909 for water systems. It's approved by AWWA. So we might look at that as, again, another alternate material that might help out with some of the supply issues. And that's about all I can think of. I don't know. I know Warren, and Warren's a big attendee of our meetings. Warren, is there anything else that we left unfinished that you can remember?
Jim, I do have that one Chandler detail for the locator wire that I will likely will become a case if everyone is interested in adding that into the.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it if you recall, our detail had shown that locator wire on the side of the pipe, but after discussing it here, it turns out it has been installed on top of the pipe, which I think our working group had thought that was the most logical place for it. So anyway, I'll share that updated detail at our next working group and see if there's interest.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you, Jim and Warren.
I like to just touch the next meeting we're gonna do will be January 17th. We usually do it on the third Tuesday. I haven't have any requests to move that, so we'll stick to having it on the third Tuesday of the month typically. So that'll be this 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks from now, on January 17th at 1:30. We usually offer both, just like this meeting, in person and teleconference with the help of Gordon and his crew. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Okay, asphalt materials, concrete working groups. Do you want, Jeff?
Our last working group meeting was August 18th. It was in the minutes in the September packet. So we haven't done anything since then. The next meeting will be January 19th. We normally meet the third Thursday. I can almost say that, the third Thursday of the month at the ARPA offices. And again, we do the hybrid kind of scenario too. You can, attend in person or virtually online. We'll continue to do that. Our meeting times have been moved to 1 o'clock, and we'll we'll continue to do that. I'm not sure exactly what we have on tap. It's time to reorganize and figure that out. But next Tuesday, we have ARPA AGC concrete and asphalt technical committee meetings. So we'll have an opportunity to see what our memberships are interested in and see what we can pull forward.
Great, thank you. And we'll go to the outside right-of-way working group.
I don't think that Peter is on the line today, but this working group did have a couple meetings after our last committee meeting, trying to get some of the details related to the bioswales ready. And then there was some discussion about the detention tanks. I think maybe Warren also has had some information about some of the tanks that they were using and maybe problems they were having. So that may influence what happens there. And then another thing that they were discussing was it looks like we're going to need to start coming up with some plan for an outside right-of-way document, since some of these upcoming details don't really fit in the right-of-way and probably shouldn't be in the mag book itself. So trying to come up with a package of maybe the initial draft of what that document might be. And I think Peter was looking for some input from the group on what that should be. There's a few other things under possible upcoming issues that are in the notes from that agenda, but that's about all I recall off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you. And yes, I think in past meetings, we've heard a number of proposed cases would be coming based on the work being done in that working group. And they obviously had those additional meetings continuing that work. So look forward to any of those future discussion items. Okay, and then our last, we've got it listed here under working groups, but the Phoenix supplements to MAG. Kelly, do you have an update for us on the current status of that? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if Kelly's still on or if we have an update on that.
Chairman, I sit on that committee and we're gonna have our first year of the meeting, I think next week, and they're gonna start going through the 300 section. So they've got that out to the committee, and so there's a few things that they want to start with in the 300 section.
Okay.
Nothing's really been done. Our first meeting is going to be next week. So.
Okay. And there's a number of sections, so it's still kind of early in the process. There's not going to be any adopted changes in the near few months.
That is
anyway.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Okay, well, let's go on to agenda item number 9, general discussion. If there are any items that haven't been a part of the agenda that the members of the committee would like to discuss, we have an opportunity to do that at this time.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Go ahead.
At the very end of last year's meeting, we were talking a lot about the micro trench. We had a great presentation that Mesa put on. Not knowing, are we moving forward with that? Is that, are we gonna have any more presentations on that? Kind of where does that sit? This question.
Yes.
Hey, Craig, this is Warren. Can you get a little closer to the mic, please?
Sorry about that. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. No, my question was about the micro trench presentation that we had at the end of last year. Just checking to see what kind of where that sits right now.
So for I'll kind of talk a little bit about what we've done. So City of Mesa has adopted some details and some specifications related to micro trenches. We have at the very tail end of last year, we had our first utility begin working on some construction utilizing the micro trenches. And there have been a couple hiccups. We had to stop them after the first few days or week because the quality of what we were getting back didn't meet our goals and specifications. And I know that our inspections team and our right-of-way group has been working diligently with them to get that corrected. And I believe they've continued construction since that point in time and are actively working. I know we have a few other utilities that are preparing to also begin construction utilizing the micro trenches. And so it's going to continue for sure. I think a few people had an opportunity to go out to the job site in Mesa and see the live operation. I haven't done that myself though, but I think a few people on this committee actually had an opportunity to go out there with our right-of-way manager and see that. And certainly if that's something that you're interested in, it's an ongoing operation that's going to be continuous for quite some time. You can certainly let me know and I can arrange or put you in contact with our right-of-way manager who is managing that whole process for the City of Mesa. You can observe it firsthand and see how it works and what our standards look like. At this time, we're not proposing to introduce a specification or a detail to MAG. We've adopted them from Mesa. We're more interested in continuing to see how it is playing out before we would try to propose anything.
No, thank you. Do you by chance happen to know what the hiccups were early on?
The quality of the patch back on the trenches.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Thank you.
I understand there might be some other municipalities also working on standards. I don't know the status of that though.
I just want to mention that the MAG InterGovs group, which is kind of interacts with the city managers of the valley, pulled me into one of their meetings at the end of the year asking about this issue, just kind of seeing where it was, because I know that there has been a lot of discussion in individual agencies about having this type of process available. I think the city of Glendale was one of them that had questions about it. Mesa also made some comments, their InterGov. I think or who else it was, but there was another city as well.
Hey, Ryan, anybody else? Isn't it, just to clarify the location, does this go at the lip of gutter basically? Is that the main location that this is supposed to be trenched and installed at?
So the City of Mesa specification in detail identifies right at the lip of gutter as a primary location, but our standards also call out the reality is we have 2 or 3 or 4 utilities that all want to potentially install infrastructure in the same roadway. And so that location's not always going to be available. So we identify that as kind of the primary location for residential streets and different elements. And we all identify alternate locations, separation requirements, different things like that for subsequent utilities. And there are some other alternatives other than that, but that is a primary preferred location for the trench location. Kind of the one of the, I'll just mention one thing that the City of Mesa staff felt strongly about and worked to incorporate was while we allow the micro trenching through the asphalt, we don't through concrete. So through our sidewalks and whatnot, it's not a trench and patch back through concrete. That's got to follow other patchback standards that we've already had in place. So it is a little bit different. But yeah, the specification, the details are published online and you're certainly welcome to go and read all of those and look at them. But yes, you're correct as far as that primary location.
Yeah, I listened to the presentation. They did one at the ACCU meeting as well. It was a pretty good presentation. But I understand with Mesa that a lot of it, there is specs, but a lot of it is policy too. As far as it'd be nice to try to get everybody to go in one conduit, or, one trench. And I don't know if that's going to be feasible with all the different companies and competing firms that are out there.
Yeah, and certainly from a city perspective, we would prefer that. And we feel like it provides the most cost-efficient construction for the utilities if they can team together and do it. But of course, just like anything that depends on their timing and their funding and their business plans and all those things that are not in the control of the city. So we encourage it, but certainly we don't require it.
All right, thanks.
Okay, any other general discussion items or further discussion on that?
Ryan, along that same lines, just from the contractor's perspective, some feedback. When you say trench it through concrete, the few instances or hiccups that contractors have had is when they're putting it in the curb or next to the curb and there's an adjustment, a water valve, and they go through the water valve concrete, and then we go remove that, the conduit comes with it. So, and that's happened in numerous places. So that's always been the contractor's concern, is how are we going to locate this with the shallow depth and just below whatever surface there is. And exactly what we were afraid of is happening. And the only thing that saved everybody was the franchise agreement, or the agreement with the city and the utility who was putting it in. Because we jackhammered out the water valve and the conduit came with it. So just FYI.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not an expert in our franchise agreements, but I think that's a very valid point. A lot of the work that we do is upfront in those franchise agreements, spelling out responsibilities for the license issuance. So that's a great point. Though that's as essential part of the process as the specifications and details, for sure.
So this is Roy, City of Scottsdale. I was going to say one of the conversations I guess we've had over here, to kind of jump off of Jim's point with location, was we were concerned if it was there at the gutter lip, if there was any future construction, whether it's right turn lanes, bus bays, curb ramps, where the existing curb and gutter is being removed, that like with the water valve collar, that we could potentially be into the utility, the micro trench conduit at that point. Understand that it would be the responsibility of the utility to fix their conduit, but it also then has the potential of putting delay into to the city or to the developer, whoever's come across the conduit, that there's issues. So we're also just talking about where would be a good location, and is the gutter lip the best location. It's just there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah, and what is used for backfill material? Is it asphalt or crack seal, or what is used for backfilling, sealing up the road after they go through?
City of Mesa's found that each proposed contractor has a different preference on a proprietary design, but it's typically some type of a sealant that's more akin to a crack fill as opposed to an asphalt. As far as the backfill goes, is what we've typically seen. We have our specification set, and I promise I did read the specification in detail, just not recently. And I saw so many different revisions of it that I might be mixing my details up a little bit. But I think that our specification allows for them to propose the material, and we'll review it before approving it.
Yeah, it's interesting because if it's a crack seal based stuff, anybody familiar with crack sealing knows that that only lasts for, a couple years with the kind of heat and temperatures we have here. And then you got this crack that opens up again. So that,
It's definitely a different material than standard crack seal.
Okay.
Our standards back in the franchise agreements talks about responsibility for long-term maintenance, including of the trench backfill and other elements too. So again, goes back to what Brian was saying before. It's not just the specifications and details, but the franchise agreements that really lay out responsibilities. That is a key element there.
yeah, and see, that's the concern I'd have is trying to, whoever does bring this to try to get it into MAG is, how do you incorporate, franchise and policy type maintenance type things that seem to be like they're going to be part of this, infrastructure that needs to be considered. So I applaud Mesa for going and pioneering this. So we'll learn from your guys' experience.
I'm glad you said experience and not mistakes. So
well, it's trial and error, so we'll see what happens.
Sometimes.
All right,
Okay.
thanks.
If there's no further general discussion items, we can go ahead and move on to agenda item 10, our staff report. And Gordon, if you want to lead us on this, that'd be great.
Thanks, Ryan. First thing I wanted to mention is that the 2023 revision update packets and books were delivered this morning. So we have them in-house, and we'll update the website probably tomorrow so that you can order them through the website. For those that are here in person, there's copies on the counter. You can take one with you. If you aren't here in person, then we will mail you the update packet. If you don't want an update packet, you just use electronically or whatever, just let me know so we can save those and sell them and not send the postage and all that. But otherwise, we'll go ahead and mail the update to you. Also, MAG has done some updates to its website, so it has a little bit different look to it now. But you can still get to the specs and details several different ways. If you're new to the committee, you would just go to committees and go to standard specifications and details committee. And that's where you'll see the upcoming meetings. There's links to the current cases. There's links to agency supplements. The new books have been posted here, but probably most people just go under programs straight to specifications and details. Here you'll see the electronic versions online. So it's broken up into, for the online version, it's broken up into the specs, which are the written part. And again, there's hyperlinks in the table of contents, so you can jump to whatever new section you want to look at. The detailed drawings are also available. One of the things that I did this year was to try and make them more accessible. They've got alt text for the names of I don't know how many blind people are going to be able to read details, but we're supposed to make them accessible. So that was done. There's also, if you just want to print out the book, the update packet itself, you can just go to this link, print it out, and replace the pages in your book. But we will also sell these, have these for sale on our website. So if you just want one shipped to you, if you have several books that you need to update, you can do that. Finally, all of the details are in this zip file for AutoCAD. If you want the actual AutoCAD drawings, you can download them here, and that includes all of the new irrigation and landscaping details that were passed last year. So that's pretty much what I have. Again, if you click on this link, it'll take you to the purchase page. Right now, the only thing we have up there is binders, but by tomorrow we should have the books and update packets available for sale. The books, at the last year we had to reorder some books, and we ended up in order to kind of make up a cost, they were about $35 a piece, and I think they probably will be again. The update packets, I'm not sure how much we're going to charge for those yet. Last time it was $10, but they're a pretty hefty update packet, so I'll have to check to see how much it cost us to print them, but probably again around $10 for the update packets. Does anyone have any questions about the new specs books, either online or hard copies? Okay, thanks. And again, if you don't want one sent to you, just send me an email.
Okay, thank you, Gordon. Appreciate that. Agenda item number 11 is opportunity to request future agenda items. We've discussed one of those already today. Is there any other future agenda items that we'd like to add? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 12, comments from the committee. Again, this is an opportunity for any comments on current events or other elements that you'd like to discuss. Okay, hearing none, then we will just go ahead and move to an adjournment. And thank you for your time. And I'll remind you one last time, I know you've been stewing on this all meeting long about who's going to be the vice chair. You better email Gordon if you don't want to be, in addition to if you do want to be. So we'll work hard to have a vice chair that we can hopefully appoint at our next meeting would be the goal. So thank you for your time today.
Hey, Gordon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, Gordon, you still on the line?
Yes, I'm still here.
Hey, just real quick on that, if you want to be a vice chair, isn't that still a policy where you're vice chair for a year or two and then you get bumped automatically to chair?
That's correct. But in this case, since Carl served 1 year as chair, it would only be 1 year as vice chair. Sorry. And then you'd be bumped up to chair the following 2 years.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll let you know now. I'm still on, looks like I'm still stuck with the chair on the working group. I'm not gonna really, have time to take on more duties, especially with what I got at the city now, so.
Okay, I guess you're off the hook.
So take me, you can scratch me off the list. So I don't know. Craig might be interested there though. All right. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
All right, see you later.